Do you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, wanting to play with middle-aged men and beards? If so, you need to download this game now. Before that, welcome to the Gentlemen's Pixel Club. You can follow us on YouTube, Twitter or TikTok. The handles are on the screen. Today on the MiSTer FPGA system, we are playing a free game. You can pay a little bit of money for it if you choose to, but this game is dedicated to TJ. TJ, you can see on the screen behind me. Before all of you get upset, I've had permission to use TJ's picture for this. It's absolutely fitted for this game. So we're going to go straight into this game and I'm going to talk a little bit about it as we play. This was created by Gaz Marshall for TJ and it's a really cute looking game. But before any of you that may already have this game are thinking, hang on a minute, you're not playing the right version. Yes, you're absolutely correct. I am not. I recorded this video, I recorded the gameplay. I then asked TJ for permission to use his photo and he said yes. Thank you, TJ. He has a much better beard than me, but he said yes, so I welcome this and I thank him for this. And then I went to look at Gaz Marshall. I was going to do a link in the YouTube description. The link will be in the YouTube description, and he updated the bloody game. So we're going to do the playthrough of the video that I originally recorded here, so you can see what I played, where I got my initial thoughts, my initial comments for, and then we're going to very quickly load the new version and have one gameplay for this. So let's introduce you to TJ. TJ is a real man, he is a real boy, but he is also a video game character now, jumping about on the screen. He is a gentleman that is probably more in love with the ZX Spectrum than me, and I thought I really was in love with this platform, fully enjoyed it. I have been following him for years when he's been on a quest to get a Spectrum next. You know, he lives in California, I believe, and you know, he absolutely loves this British system and he has a great channel. So a link to his channel is going to be in the description below. Gaz Marshall obviously enjoys the content that TJ produces and has dedicated this game to him. He created this game for him, and the object is to collect beer, at least in this version, as you go around the caverns with multiple enemies that are flashing around. And when this game came out, I thought, how absolutely cool is that to have a game created and dedicated for you? Know, I bet TJ cannot be happier to see this, and it's actually a good game. You know, it's not a piece of shit thrown together game that, you know, you wouldn't want to play. You know, I did enjoy playing this, and you know what, even this version I will go back and play, never mind the later version, what we'll get to in a moment. So, you know, all in all, this is a wonderful package of, we've got a gentleman that loves the Spectrum. He is from the US and he is a real person, as you can see behind me, and he is also in this game. Playing this game, it reminded me strangely of Manic Miner, Jet Set Willy, and also Ultimate. And you're going to think, no, there's no Ultimate stuff in here. But let me finish. Oh, and it also looks like Load Runner. The colours that you see, what you can see at the moment on this version, are very reminiscent of Software Project's Load Runner game in terms of reds and whites, and it works really well with the little flashing bricks which have been replaced by the drink bottles that you see here. So TJ has an alcohol problem, and in this Manic Miner level where you have to effectively clear sheets in terms of collect all the bottles and move on to the next one, you know, it's a great game. The controls are really fluid. TJ floats through the sky as he falls, that you can see, you know, when he jumps off platforms, so you don't fall straight down, you kind of glide down, and it works really well on the level design. The collision detection is absolutely fantastic on here. You know, there is no jumping over something and you think, you know, that didn't get me, how the hell did that get me? And I'm looking at you, Monty Mole, or Moldy Christmas, if you all look back to that horrible game that I played on December the 24th, and I don't think I will ever get that out of my system. I'm looking at you, and you were a real bastard of a game where I really believe the collision detection was off on this, but none of that on here. So it also reminds me of Jet Set Willy in terms of, you know, you're collecting drink here, but you know, although it's a single static game where the levels, the sheets are, you know, a single level that you're looking at, it just had so much Jet Set Willy vibes. It's going to have that if it's Manic Miner, but you know, I think it's for the variety of the characters that you see moving around here, which makes you feel that way. And I said Ultimate as well. I don't know why. You know, it's there's something that feels very ultimate to me in this game, and it is the animation of the characters. You know, the animation just flows. Look at TJ, he's game over here, so we're going to have to wait for me to restart that. I've only scored 7,500, and that's key, and I was only on one of the early levels here. And you know, when we go back into the game and we restart and we have another go, watch how smoothly he goes. And also, you know, I need to credit DJ Max. The background music, the music for this game is absolutely great. You know, everybody has come together really well to create a very fluid, very great game. But onto the animation. Look at TJ. Look at TJ as he walks. He's in real life behind me on the picture. You can see. You know, I hope that in real life he's as animated and walks as well as this, because if he does, he's going to be a very, very happy man. And yeah, it was just so ultimately on the animation, and you know, it really, really did feel that way for me. So while playing this, you know, the first game I only scored 7,500, but look at my score now, or 7,800, whatever it was. Look at my score now. It is much higher, you know, 4,500, and by much higher in terms of where I am in the game at the moment. I do not believe I scored this much on the playthrough, on the run through as you go. And it's all about when you exit the level, you get a hefty bonus if you do well. So watch my score now, how it shoots up. You know, 9,700, and I'm doing much better than what I was on the first playthrough, the first game. But this is a hard game, and what makes it hard is not only the enemy patterns, but the platforms. You know, they're very strategically placed. This layout, the layouts on the streets, on the levels, and I just made that jump, the layouts on the streets of the levels that you're looking at is done really well. But there is something that is also a constant challenge, why it's not always quick to complete these levels. I want you to look at the bat and I have no idea what that is bouncing along the top. Let's call it a hedgehog with springs on its feet. I want you to look at the bat and the hedgehogs with springs on their feet. They do not move in a pattern that, you know, you can follow, that you can recognize. It's not random. They pursue you. So as you go through the game, the bats come in here, and that bat never went in there until I went in that cavern. So you have objects that slowly follow, or you have enemies that slowly follow you around the game, and this makes it very tricky, very, very hard. I must say, TJ, you are a brilliant sport. Thank you for allowing me to use your picture. Thank you for giving me permission to use your picture when I reached out onto Facebook. You know, you barely know me. We've had a couple of interactions over the years where I've commented on Facebook on some of the posts that you've done, perhaps on a video or two of yours, and this is the first time that, you know, I've done this, you know, through the Gentlemen's Pixel Club, so to speak. And I mean, indeed, the channel never even existed back then. So, you know, many, many thanks. It is appreciated. And it just brings a little bit of silliness, a little bit of life, but it shows, you know, a real man with a real beard behind me, unlike my pathetic attempt at a beard here. You know, I don't know whether I'm going to keep this, whether I'm going to shave it off, but hey ho, this is a man with beards video. So, we're collecting the bottles. We continue to do this. I'm surprised actually they didn't make the bottles into beard oil. That would have been quite subtle for this, because I hope that TJ doesn't have an alcohol problem. But what he certainly does is have a problem that he can't get down into the bottom cavern because of the bouncing hedgehog with springs and that bat and the patterns that they follow. You know, this is very hard. Fortunately, you can fall all the way down, and you're not going to die on impact. You know, the falling is absolutely not a problem here, but you've got to get yourself around the screen and get yourself in a position where hopefully they're going to start to pursue you and get away from that cavern entrance. You know, the bat, if you look now, I've come out, was flying along to me, so he's heading towards me now. So this is going to be a bit of a quick duck and dive to see whether I can get into that cavern, make the jump, which I just managed to do, and then I've got one more to collect, and I get myself killed. You know, that must have been pixel perfect in terms of where I was landing for it, and the pixel perfect in that the enemy hit me at the same time. So that was oh bollocks. So what I'm doing now is I'm switching strategy. While the enemies are not pursuing me too much, I'm actually got the one in the cavern first, go for the one on the top right, which will hopefully leave me able to drop down, hit that bottle, and not have to worry too much about the cavern. And it's just a timing game here, but this is fun game. Really enjoyed it, and the controls feel natural. You can play a lot of these games where you just click around and, did I get it then? Yes, I did. Look at my score. You just click around and it doesn't feel right. You're looking at the controls to say, well, you know, I'm sure I hit the right button here. But no, this hangs together. This works together really, really well. What surprised me was the difficulty of that previous level. You know, I think this has got at least 20 screens in this, but that was very, very hard. Or I don't know, it must have been level 5 or something like that. But we've passed that level, we've trumped that level, and you know, we are just racking up the high score now. You know, 21,000 points, at least 2 sheets past where we got on the first playthrough. But look at that, we have now got a screen full of enemies that do not really have a predefined path. They just pursue you. I was never a great player of Pac-Man and understood how they follow you in the maze or anything else like this, but I have a bit of Pac-Man vibes here at the moment where, you know, the monsters are going to be pursuing me as soon as I get up to that top area. I've got 3 to try and avoid, 2 bottles left, and you know, it's just a bloody mess. So drop all the way down, don't get killed on the impact, and try and figure my way up back there. But there's no point in going to the cavern to the right because I can't get myself back up the center piece. I can clear anything that was in the middle, and I got myself killed with game over. So this is 21,300 points, and this is where the video was going to end. But here is a newer version, and this came out a couple of days ago. So we're going to have one playthrough through this, or at least within the couple of days I played it. And this has now got Jim Bagley and Michael Flash wearing it. Apologies if I mispronounce your name. You know, I haven't got my proper glasses on underneath this. I am half as blind as a bat. And again, Gaz Marshall has done this, but look at the difference. Look how this layout looks now. So a lot of the bottles have been replaced by other items. So we've got spectrums and other things here, but you know, we've got a Jim Bagley and the other gentleman there flashing away on the screen. Those graphics, they look sweet. They've got the Manic Miner animations of the flashing keys that you had in terms of the cycling colours, but dear God, they look really, really good. And the colours that have been brought to the level as well, you know, that they really enhance the gameplay. And I see some white spikes there. I don't remember those white spikes being on the first edition, the first version that I played on the screen, regardless of the other colour that you've got here, where you've got the green vines, you've got the torches that light up the cavern as well. So, you know, this is really, really nice to look at, but it's going to be brutal. You can see it's going to be brutal here. More spikes on the bottom, you know, that annoying flying bat that's there. And the problem that I have is, you know, I played through this, I could get through this level quite easy, but you're doubting yourself, you're pausing yourself, because there's so much to see on the screen, so much to play, you know, or not so much to play, but so much to be concerned about. I think that's a shark fin that I collected there. That's certainly a tape that I've got here. But yeah, I need to get myself through this and, you know, get to the end. I need to keep an eye on these objects. If I die, are they random? Do they appear? Do you get random objects in random positions? Or not random positions, but random objects for the collectible objects that you've got. So maybe if I die, we can recognise that, or I could wind back the video and play again. Now, I haven't died, nearly fell on those spikes, and it looks like I have a clear run at the last object, so we won't know until I die. So, just looking at a quick idea of the placement, just to see the 2 heads that we've got and see whether they appear in different positions on the next level. I have no idea of the relevance of the shark fin. That's absolutely got me on that. But this is a really cool upgrade. If I haven't mentioned, this is for the 128k Spectrum, and this game is free, but you can pay your price if you want to download it. And I think the objects stay in the same position actually if you want to download it yourself. And yeah, this is great. You know, TJ, I hope, is absolutely honoured to have, you know, somebody do this for him. And you know, I think it's really cool. I think it's a great honour for people who are recognised in the community, who do YouTube videos, who have games created for them. You know, we've seen similar in the past, and you know, Nick Jenkins, there's a version of Attic Attack by High Rise that's got him as the main character as well, and that was a subtle change. But to have a whole game dedicated after you, you know, TJ, you know, you need to have a box version of this. You need to have a version on this display on your shelf, because this is a memorable moment. Would I pay for this game? Yes, I would pay for this game. You know, I not rushed. I had to do this extended playthrough, the additional clip here that you've got of the video where we are to see the later version of it here, and I was not expecting it. I didn't even know it was a game that you paid for when I downloaded it. But what I'm going to be doing is, now I'm dead, you bastards, I'm going to be putting a couple of coinages to the cost of this game. So all the URLs for TJ's YouTube channel for this game, where you can download it, and anything else of reference that I've mentioned will be in the description for the YouTube video. Usually I will have them on the bottom right hand of the screen, but there's just too much important links to be shown here, and I didn't want to miss one off. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm the Gentleman. This is the Gentlemen's Pixel Club, and before I forget, this is today's t-shirt. Old school gamer. I need to get myself a Spectrum t-shirt, I think. Anyway, you stay safe, you stay well. I will continue to grow my beard to be as good as TJ's, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Would you like to play again?
Hello there, just me. If you're a subscriber to this channel, thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, then Merlin here would be delighted if you would consider subscribing. It would make him happy, it would make me happy. And if Merlin's happy, then everybody is happy. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Take care. Goodbye.